Hi, it's Scott. ROCKFILE back with another podcast review. Let's do a very short theatrical review of the new movie, Sinners. I want to keep this short because I want to dance around the spoilers. If you saw the trailers, some things have been spoiled, and I'm sorry for that. But the less you talk about the movie, the less you know about the movie, the more you're going to enjoy the movie. It's a Jim Crow era, 1932 or so film about two identical twins returning home from Chicago with some stuff they may have taken off the mob or not to open a juke joint, do their own thing, and be free in the South. And when times really weren't free in the South. That's how the movie begins, and that's pretty much the first hour. We spend a long time with these characters, learning what they're about, what they want at the juke joint. They want good food. They want great music. We meet some musicians. The cast in this movie is incredible. The acting in this movie is incredible. The directing in this movie, the cinematography, the writing, everything comes together. This is one of the best movies I've seen this year. It's not for everybody, though, because the second half of the movie definitely is from dusk till dawn. It's a very violent, very bloody, very hard R movie from the halfway point on. The first half, though, the second half wouldn't be as powerful if we didn't have the first half. Some people have called this a slow burn. I don't think, because I was interested in what was going on with the brothers coming back to town and who they were talking to and how they were dealing with things and trying to, re-put things together after they hadn't been there for years. They were World War I veterans and they had spent years in Chicago, but everybody remembered the brothers. Smokestack, one smoke, one stack. They're both played by Michael B. Jordan. And when I first read that, I was like, oh, not another movie where the same actor plays twins. But he did a magnificent job. The two characters couldn't be more different. They're very much twins, but not. You could easily tell that they were two different characters every time they cut to them. And the special effects to put them in the same scenes, at the very, very beginning, they're passing a cigarette back and forth, and it works. So all that being said, there's a lot of practical effects in the movie. Matter of fact, most of the effects are practical. There are gallons of blood in the movie. Well acted, well directed, great script. The cinematography, they used 70 millimeter film, ultra wide Panavision, and full IMAX cameras. It looks incredible from beginning to end. It is some of the best cinematography you're going to see this year. Movies like this, these genre movies that become horror movies, don't usually have this level of directing, acting, cinematography, special effects, writing, any of it. If I had any complaints, I really can't find any. I walked out of the theater energized because I had just seen a singular vision. Why is this different from the average movie that comes out? Because you have a really talented director who's cut his teeth on some big budget movies like Creed and the Black Panther movies. And then he got to write and direct his own story. It's not based on a book. It's not based on a comic book. He wrote this to be a movie. And wow. It's a different take on the subject matter. It's a little bit different. Some different things happen with these things. Like I said, I don't want to give spoilers, and I will probably have to do a spoiler review at some point. But I like the movie so much, when the pre-order went up for the 4K Steelbook this morning, I went ahead and pre-ordered it. I'm ready to watch it again. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's very hard R. It very much is a violent film with lots of blood in it. And the whole subject matter may not be your cup of tea, but I'm from the South and grew up in the 70s and 80s when things were a little bit different. And I remember these kind of things going on, not so much the specifics of it, but the general feelings and things like that. So that took me back to a lot of that. I think this is a singular vision by a director who knows what he's doing. It may not be of everything I wanted out of this kind of movie, but I had to admit that what I saw was some of the best put together, well-made filmmaking that I've seen in a very, very long time. This movie was actually supposed to come out about a month ago, but they switched places with another movie. I think this one's going to do well. The people that walked out of my theater last night said it was really good, and it made almost $5 million in its opening preview showings on Thursday night. I'm recording this on Friday morning. So far, Rotten Tomatoes is about 98%, and non-critic reviews are at 96%. It's a powerful movie. Again, you have to be in the mood for this kind of film, but I was, and I walked out just wow, that was a work of art. So I would like to talk more about the movie and the individual actors and stuff, but I don't want to give things away. I think I've already talked too much. If you love music, especially the blues, there is a lot of that. There is a scene in this movie where music is being played, and they do kind of a montage of music through the ages, and it was jaw-dropping how awesome it was. Also, the bad guys, the villains, there's more than one villain in this movie. Thought those were also very good. You need a good villain to have, a good dramatic take on the story matter. You got to have good guys, but you got to have good villains, and they do. I think it's a great take on one of my favorite genre type movies, and we'll talk more about that in a spoiler podcast, but it gets pretty much my highest recommendation if this sounds like your cup of tea. Sinners is now playing. It's going to open big this weekend, and hopefully it makes a lot of money because this is a director doing what he wants to do, and wow, I was blown away by it. So let me know what you think. Go see it, and I think with all movies, you need to watch it. This also brings up a thing that I've been thinking about in the back of my mind lately, the difference between streaming movies and theatrical movies. Most streaming movies, pretty much all streaming movies, are missing something, missing some quality. Otherwise, they would be theatrical movies. I mean, in the last 10 years, we've had all these streaming movies on Amazon, Netflix, whatever. How many of those have you bought on disc? How many of those have I bought on disc? One. There was one I missed on Amazon that they put out on 4K, and I bought it, and it's kind of... But streaming stuff just doesn't have this kind of, craftsmanship. There was just something extra about this movie. I knew I was sitting in a theatrical experience that had to be experienced in the theater for full effect. It's a beautiful movie, incredibly well filmed, well acted, well directed. Go check out Sinners. It's showing now. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way, more drone videos too. Thank you so much for listening, and have a spectacular day.